to reveal water dripping down his hot body, and his wet hair made me breathless. His pupils dilated and he yelled at me, "For fuck's sake, Alexia, leave me the fuck alone. Why is it so difficult for you to listen?" Back at the academy, Harold went to have a talk with the principal while Tristan and I headed back to the dormitory. The whole time, I was trying to start up a conversation with him. I got nothing but cold shoulders. I just could not understand why he was behaving like this, especially when he started showing interest out of nowhere, but happened to staying loyal to his hoes. Even though that sounds ironic, but still, he is not the type that would be able to stay in a committed relationship. He would surely end up cheating on me, and the last thing that I want is another Zach in my life. Are you going to talk to me or just keep being an angry bed for no reason? I asked him when we got to the door of our dorm. He stomped his feet angrily and stared down at me with his eye color already changed. "What have you done with Harold?" "I just want a straightforward answer, Alexia, and if you try to lie to me, I would definitely know," he ordered with all seriousness in his tone. I sighed and pleaded, "Can we at least go inside first? I don't want to talk about this outside." He reached out to the doorknob to open it for me. "Get in." I obeyed him, and he locked the door from behind, causing me to furrow my brows. "What about the others? They will knock the door like someone who has manners and I will open," he replied in a flat tone, not interested in any other conversation aside from the truth. I did not want to beat around the bush, so I told him everything. I want to accept Harold as my mate. He is my best option at this point. His brows shot up and then knitted before he clenched his jaw. "What? Why him? Are you sick in the head, Lexi? We are talking about the same guy who disrespected you with your sister? Are you throwing your self-respect away? That is, if you ever had one." He was taking it too far and I had to be careful. "Watch it." He stepped closer to me and grabbed my arm before speaking through gritted teeth. "No, I won't. I am not just going to let you do something stupid. Harold doesn't even like you. He just doesn't want the rest of us to have you. He has never been the one to simp after women, so why now? How are you not sure that he has not planned this with your sister to make jest of you? Think with your brain sometimes and not your heart. You Omegas are so weird." When he was done ranting, I replied to him in a calm tone, "My mind is made up, Tristan. He is the man after my heart now, so deal with it. Besides, you have so many girls chasing after you. You have never been a one-woman's man. So I don't get why you are so worked up about this whole thing. Even if I get heartbroken, it would be my cross to carry, not yours. I am going to reject you and Nathan the minute that he gets here." He narrowed his eyes at me as anger flashed through him. "I won't accept the rejection, and it is going to remain like that because I am the alpha. No Omega on this earth would ever try such with me." Now, he was concerned about his ego and not me. It made more sense to me. "You want to accept him just like that. You haven't given me or Nathan the chance to prove ourselves. We have not spent time with each other, and trust me, as soon as we do, Harold is going to be wiped out of your memory. You are going to spend quality time with me, then you can decide the rejection," he demanded. I gave him a blank stare, still not believing that it was the same Tristan whom I knew to not stress over a girl because he could easily get another woman within seconds. "You can't be serious, Tristan. This is my life, and I do whatever I want. You are not my father," I fired at him. "Good thing that you don't have one, because the minute that you utter those words of rejection to me, I would make it my life purpose to make yours a living nightmare, and I am not joking. You can go ahead and ask my victims. One of the reasons why I landed in this hell of an academy." He threatened me. I scrunched up my face. "Are you threatening me?" "Of course. I can do better than that. It's not a threat but a severe warning," he corrected me with a cold tone. He marched out of the room afterwards with annoyance, leaving me to stand with my mouth open as confusion and worry set in. Why was he acting this way, all of a sudden, just when I had already made up my mind and decided to move on? It was obviously too late for all this drama now, but I would not hide the fact that my heart did not stop thumping hard because of overthinking. "What are you going to do now? Harold has finally confessed his feelings for you, but Tristan is threatening to be a major obstacle," Blair pointed out. I placed my hand over my head and bit my lips. "I honestly have no idea. I mean, the easiest way out of this was to reject 2 mates and choose one. I don't get why Tristan is getting mad that he is not the chosen mate. His alpha ego won't let accept the rejection without causing unnecessary drama," I replied. "I think so too," she agreed with me. Just then, Nathan walked into the room and gave me a confused look before his eyes roamed around the room. I let out a sigh, preparing myself in case he wanted to start his own game with me. "Where's Tristan?" he inquired. "He just left. Didn't you see him on your way here?" I did not know how stupid my question sounded till I got a response from the king of sarcasm. His eyes fell with his brows raised. "If I saw him, would I be standing here asking you about his whereabouts? My bad. I didn't think well before questioning you. I didn't even have the energy in me to give him a smart comeback. I was just going to let him win this time around. Are you okay?" For the first time, I heard a tone that had concern laced in it. "Yeah, I am. Just traumatized from the whole monster experience." I lied to him with a straight face, even though Tristan might snitch on me about the second time that he has seen me with Harold in a compromising situation. There was no reason to be afraid of Nathan anyways. He was the last mate on my list. "Oh, I told you that it wasn't safe to come, but as usual, you were too stubborn to listen. I hope your wounds has healed fully." He came closer to me to observe, and my breathing became heavy. "They healed faster than expected. That's quite strange. But I am glad that you are okay now," he remarked. If only he knew how I managed to heal so quickly, he would not be saying that. Anyways, I got a text message from Tristan about some discussion that he refused to mention. It must be about the vacation plans. I thought he would be here by now, waiting for me. Nathan brought up the topic. Worry instantly gnawed at me before I responded. "I don't think so. It has to be something more serious." He went back to pressing his phone while I stayed mute, thinking about what my playboy of a mate was cooking up now. I could smell Harold's sweet scent as he approached the room, and my breath hitched before I released it with a sigh. He did not say anything since Nathan and I maintained a good distance from each other after he checked my injury. A few minutes later, Tristan came as well, with a blank look on his face like he was about to address an issue to his people as an alpha. "He's finally here. So, what's up, man? What was it that you wanted to discuss with us?" Nathan inquired while the rest of us stayed quiet as we waited for his response. He spared me a glance which seemed like a threat to me before clearing his throat. "It's about the vacation. We would be going home, and I don't think our lovely roommate Lexi would like to return to her parents' pack." What was he trying to imply? "And who told you so?" "Alexia, did you tell him such?" Nathan questioned me, and I failed to respond. "Well, whether she wants to or not, it doesn't really matter. The major reason why I brought this up is to ask who gets to take her home first, and for how long, since she is our maid after all." He dropped it like a bomb on me. My eyes darted to Harold, and the first thing that I saw was the deadly look in his eyes directed at Tristan, who had no idea of what was coming. I did not like this at all. I never signed up for such, so dear goddess, please, pull me out of this mess that you have created for me. "What did you just say?" "I didn't quite hear you. Repeat yourself," Harold requested with muscle ticking in his jaw, and I held the hem of my blouse, hoping that this matter would not escalate further because I would not be able to separate a fight at all between two alphas who wanted me. Tristan spared him a veiled glance before restating. "For an alpha, that is quite odd, but for your sake, I will repeat myself," he added through gritted teeth as he was straightforward. "Someone is going to take Lexi to their pack house first. So the question is, who is going to be the lucky alpha?" "Lucky?" Harold scoffed with his fists shaking like he wanted to throw a punch at Tristan. Did I use the wrong term in speaking? Tristan chose to push his buttons further. "You are being fucking ridiculous right now because you both don't have the right to ask for her time, talk less of taking her to introduce to your pack members. The last time that I checked, none of you had interest in making her your Luna, so what changed?" He fired at them. "Is it a bad thing for our decisions to be changed at the minute? She's my maid after all, and I don't see any mark on that neck of hers, so why should there be a problem?" Tristan retorted, and I instantly chimed in because it was getting too hot to handle. I got in between them and shouted at the top of my lungs, "I am not going with any of you. There is no cause for an argument because none of you would be taking me as your prize." Tristan gave me a blank stare before deadpanning. "You should know by now that you don't have a say in this, so better shut your mouth before I do it for you." I threw my head back in disbelief and a chill ran through my body. I folded my arms and matched his gaze before he broke it as Nathan asserted, "I don't know what both of you are talking about, but I am taking her home." Both Tristan and Harold flashed him a nasty look, causing me to run my hands through my hair in frustration. "Guys, can we not do this right now? Nobody is taking me anywhere. You all are going home alone." They did not pay heed to my words, and Tristan went ahead to bring up a suggestion. How about we settle it the old alpha way? Nathan crossed his arms over his chest, and Harold gave him a frosty look. And what is that? We should hold a competition and whoever wins gets to keep her, Tristan stated. Keep her? I am not a property, I protested, and they still acted like I was invisible. Take her home. Nobody is keeping her until she chooses who she actually wants. Nathan corrected him. Whatever. As long as you know what I was driving at, Tristan responded in a cold tone. What sort of competition are you talking about? Harold inquired, and I also wanted to know as well. Tristan shrugged his shoulders before rubbing his chin. I have no idea. A scoff instantly escaped Harold's throat as he could no longer hide his irritation to save his life. You brought up a suggestion and have nothing to back it up? How about you let the girl decide who she wants to go with and who she actually wants to spend the rest of her life with? Nathan put his arms over Harold's shoulders to calm him down. Relax, bro. It's just a competition. If you want to chicken out, then it's fine. The less the better, but I know for a fact that I am going to win this. Don't you think it is too early to brag? Tristan retorted with a question. I am not bragging. I am stating facts, so deal with it. I don't even get why this is a big deal because we draft a roster. I take her home and then you pick her up after a few days and Harold follows the same process till we return to the academy, Nathan stated. We know that. The issue is who is going to be the first. I finally have an idea. The competition is going to have 2 rounds, easy and extremely difficult, Tristan asserted. You both have lost it, Harold muttered before moving away to his bed. You don't need to worry, Lexi. Harold is surely going to win since they have chosen to underestimate him. Blair chimed in and I glanced at Harold, who seemed lost in his thoughts, like he was debating whether or not to accept the competition proposal. I honestly wanted him to be the first, but the others would think that I was being unfair to them and I did not want them to brew hatred in their hearts against him. They were alphas and it would be sick for an omega to break such a bond. Not like I was not worthy of it, I was. You think so? I questioned her with a shaky voice. Yeah, it's either him or Nathan, she answered, and it did not help with my anxiety at all. I did not want to deal with probability at all. So are you coming or do you want to give up before the battle line is drawn? Tristan asked Harold like he really cared if he came along or not. My brows raised and I was quick to inquire about important information from him. Wait, are you going to fight against each other? I don't want anybody to get hurt. Relax, Omega. We aren't going to do that. Nathan answered on his behalf, and even though I wanted to heave a sigh of relief, I went ahead to shoot him a deadly glare. That's Omega mate to you, Alpha jerk. Sorry, Nathan. I had doubts that my bants with him would ever come to an end. Let's see if this smart mouth of yours would be active in my house. He fired back as he took a step closer to me. Tristan decided to lead the way out since Harold failed to respond, just as we were about to leave. He stood up as well, with no words, and left the room, making me wonder if his attitudes sometimes were necessary. It was. He literally just wanted to mark a few minutes ago, and he can't stand the thoughts of you being alone with those two. Blair pointed out, and I understood from his perspective. That's true. If he had marked me, then this competition wouldn't be held, I commented. Yeah, but it is not entirely his fault. The public acceptance was actually important. Yeah, it was. In the hallway, we bumped into the principal, and curiosity was written all over his face, and he couldn't hold it in. And where are the 3 musketeers with their little kitten heading to? I had no idea whether to take his reference as an insult or a cute remark, but I knew better to shut my mouth. About to have a competition, Tristan answered on behalf of us. His eyes suddenly lit up with excitement. Wonderful. A competition cannot be complete without a judge and an audience, so let's have it then. Nobody dragged him into this, but at the same time, the alphas would not be able to reject him. That actually sounds like a great idea considering that we need witnesses for fair judgment. Tristan agreed to it. I had no words to say to them as they rendered me speechless. The principal later made the secretary announce through the academy hallway speakers about the competition in less than a minute. Students were running out to the arena. Are you ready, boys? The principal questioned them with a smirk plastered on his face. They left me behind and I found my own way to the arena before getting a good spot to sit with a nice view. Everywhere was dead silent the minute that the principal stood on the podium to give the instructions. Apparently, different she-wolves were to shift into their wolf form, and the alphas would prove their strength by carrying them for a couple of minutes, which seemed quite easy to me. As for the other round, a she-wolf would be placed in the middle of the walled formal garden that had the 17th century design, which was going to be difficult as one could actually get lost in the process. So, they are going to test their strength and hunt a she-wolf? Blair asked me for corrections. I won't say hunt, though, more like a knight shining armor, saving a damsel in distress. I gave her a perfect explanation. And they are doing this just to get you. You are indeed a prize, she asserted. I instantly sneered. More like trying to satisfy their alpha egos. They truly do not care about me. She went quiet for about a minute and then returned with a question. Is Harold the only one that you really want to be with? I responded with so much sincerity in my tone as my heart fluttered while staring at Harold. Yeah, he has won my heart and I honestly can't help the attraction that I feel towards him. I can't wait to be accepted by him. The whole time that I had been lost in my thoughts and discussing with Blair, the competition had already gone far. I had no idea until she announced with an excited tone, "We have our winner. I told you that it was going to be Nathan." Tristan also happened to come second. My heart sank after she paused and refused to mention Harold's name. Did she not want him like I did? I was not really pleased with the fact that Harold did not win. I was expecting him to, and he had the potential to win. If only Blair had not distracted me enough, I would have concentrated on the competition to lapses. It was even bad that Nathan got to be the first out of all of them. We hardly got along and I was very certain that we might end up wrestling. It is not that kind. Maybe it might be included, but still, I could not even imagine what my chosen mate must be going through, letting his mate be with the other that was always possessive. The funny thing about this situation was the fact that it was not quite long that we discussed the red flags of my other mate. Now I was stuck with them. Come on, Lexi. Staying with Nate might not be so bad after all. She tried to cheer me up, but it was not going to work this time around. I am sorry, Blair, but I won't be going with this positive mindset of yours. He is not the one for me, and I don't like being around anybody that is not my man. I deadpanned. And I put it to you that you are still single. There's no mark on your neck to prove that you belong to Harold. I don't even get how you like him. He is cold and unaffectionate. At least, Nathan shows emotions and goes out of his way to protect his territory. Tristan makes you feel alive and you know it. She wasn't done speaking when I chimed in. And Harold makes me forget that I am a mere omega that got lucky to have alpha mates. I remarked, and she sneered. It saddens me to know that you aren't aware of your illusion. We are talking about the guy who was the first mate after Zach. If he wanted to make his own, he would have done so a long time ago. Why did he have to wait so long? Who was he waiting for, and why do you have a second chance? She was saying things that weren't true, and I had to caution her. You are wrong, and he already apologized. Why can't you forgive him? What do you even see in Nathan? He's rude and doesn't forget the countless times that he has touched me without my consent. I brought a solid fact to the table, hoping that it would be enough to shut her up, but her response threw me off instantly. He's your mate, and he can do whatever he wants with your body. Stop depriving him of sex like Zach. I thought you would have learnt from your mistake by now. If they all decided to have a threesome with you, you have no right at all to disobey them, especially Nathan. She had already made it clear who her favorite was, and I was not going to argue further with her. Her words cut me deep, but I won't act off my emotions. You have said what you wanted. Now please leave me alone for a while. I didn't give her a chance to even apologize before breaking the link off. She would have enough time to reflect on the rubbish that she spewed from her mouth. My pace became slow as I got closer to the dormitory. I hated to see that proud smile of victory on Nathan's face because I knew he could always be. Just as I was about to step into my room, the voice of the secretary through the speaker caught my attention, and I wanted to hear the announcement that she had to make. This time. Good afternoon, students. As you all have noticed, a few minutes after the competition, a sandstorm began this afternoon, and we urge all students to hide in the basement until it is safe enough to come out. No form of disobedience would be tolerated, as there would be an inspection in every dormitory. So, freshen and pack up the necessary things. Thank you. I heaved a sigh and dragged my body into the room, so I would be able to grab my blanket and other items needed. You bribed the principal, didn't you? Tristan accused Nathan, who wasn't fazed by his grumpiness at all. Why would I do that? You know fully well that it is not even possible. I won fair and square, so deal with it, Nathan remarked. Like you would openly confess that you cheated during the competition. Tristan mumbled, like we couldn't hear him. I don't even get why this is such a big deal. It's not like only one person gets to take her home through the vacation. It's even bad that I am the first because the last one, Harold, gets to spend more time with her and they resume school together. He explained, but it was not enough to stop Tristan from his grumpiness. No wonder he decided to bring his nonchalance into the game. Quite smart, but I wanted to be the first. Knowing you, I am certain that you are going to have your hands all over her body. He casted a sidelong glance at me. Just then, Harold walked in with a face holding no expression at all, and I debated whether or not to speak with him. The chances of getting cold shoulders from him were quite high, and I couldn't risk getting embarrassed in front of my other mates. I would have to wait till they both left, then I would start up a conversation with Harold. The sandstorm is getting worse. We should head to the basement right now, Nathan ordered while grabbing his blanket and pillow from his bed. I took all that was needed while I was still on my bed, staring into space while planning the words that I would say to Harold, so he could cheer up a bit. Alexia, get your ass off that bed. I don't have time to waste in the dormitory, Nathan commanded. Tristan knitted his brows at me, giving me a concerned look. Why aren't you moving? Are you okay? There was no way that I would dare to mention Harold's name because they would finish me off, so I lied with a straight face. You guys can go ahead without me. I want to take a shower before leaving, I uttered. Their eyes darted to the bathroom door since Harold was in there, and I prayed silently that one of them would not get suspicious of my actions. Are you sure? Yes, I will join you shortly. Harold is in there. I am waiting for him to be out, I assured them before they managed to leave me behind. I released a sigh and locked the door before moving towards the bathroom door and knocked gently with my tiny voice accompanying it. Ha, Harold. Hey, I want to talk to you about something important, I added with the tone of my voice higher than before. Got nothing but silence. It still was not enough to make me give up so easily on him. Harold, please talk to me. If it's about the competition, it means nothing because I won't let Nathan or Tristan touch me. I belong to you only. I tried to assure him with my voice threatening to break. Leave me alone, Alexia. I'm not in the mood to speak to anyone. Join the rest in the basement, he snarled. Just when I thought that Tristan was the only grumpy one, he had decided to pass the attitude to Harold just before leaving. Why was he so pissed? Didn't he trust me enough to stay loyal to him? I don't want to leave. I want us to talk things out. Communication is very important, Harold. I urged him, but the reaction that I got weakened my spirit completely. The door flung open to reveal water dripping down his hot body, and his wet hair made me breathless. His pupils dilated and he yelled at me, "For fuck's sake, Alexia, leave me the fuck alone. Why is it so difficult for you to listen? I don't want to deal with you right now, so get the fuck out." I instantly flinched out of fear and stepped back with my blood turning cold. He didn't even care to apologize after seeing tears threatening to escape my eyes. Instead, he slammed the door against me and punched it right after like he was venting out all of his frustration and anger on it. My breathing had already become heavy and I grabbed what I needed before rushing out of the room. The elevator wasn't available since it was being used by others, so I had to wait. His words kept replaying in my head and I broke down internally. I couldn't let the others see me in such a state because they would definitely confront Harold about it and he might act off his emotions. The last thing that I wanted was for him to reject me right after he had claimed the most intimate part of me. HELP! My attention was immediately diverted to where the sound was coming from, and for a second, I completely forgot about the argument that I had with my wolf earlier. Did you hear that as well, or my hearing abilities are going bad? I had to confirm with her and she gave me an affirmative response. I heard it too. I think someone is in danger and it's coming from the roof. We stated at the same time. It was none of my business playing hero when I was just an omega, but at the same time, I couldn't ignore since everybody was in the basement. I was the only one who had the chance to save her. Do you think we should check it or mind our business? I asked her. We can't possibly ignore it. I won't be settled. Knowing that someone needed help and I turned a deaf ear. Let's check it out, I told her, and she agreed with me. We headed towards the roof and decided to question whoever was present. Hello? What's wrong? A push from behind met my back and the door was locked from outside by an unknown person. I tried to get myself back in, but to no avail. Open up. This was a serious lesson to me to always mind my business. All I wanted to do was to help, but I was the one who became helpless at the end. The sandstorm made the situation even worse that I had to use my hands to cover my face while still trying hard to open the door. Whoever was behind it actually set me up for doom because nobody would hear my voice at this point. Just when I thought I was going through the worst, my eyes took in sight of a man standing on the roof, his eyes roaming around, and I instantly got it as a hint to hide. His skin was white as snow, and his eyes were red. My brain was quick to connect the dot that he was a vicious vampire, especially when his fangs came into display. With my heart in my throat, I tried not to make any noise because it won't take time before he would notice me. Dear Goddess, I don't want to die this way. I have been through so much already and now this. Blair, I am fucked, I pointed out with a shaky voice. I was slowly losing hope and was about to accept my fate when a hand dragged me into the staircase. A scream nearly escaped my throat until I saw a familiar pair of beautiful blue eyes. It was Tristan. I immediately wrapped my hands around his waist, hugging him tightly for saving my life. I followed Tristan down the stairs, my heart beating fast in my chest. I couldn't believe what had just happened, and the shock of it all was still coursing through my veins. Tristan motioned for me to sit in the corner with him, and I obliged, my eyes locked on Harold, who didn't seem bothered about my existence. Just a few minutes ago, it was like the world revolved around us, but now, there was no sign of love at all. Where did the care and concern vanish? Rescuing from the roof would have been the perfect opportunity for us to make up because of his nonchalant attitude, but he just did not care. He was really putting me in a difficult situation, and I did want to be delusional about the whole thing that he was going through a jealous phase. What happened to marking his territory? He had given up so soon? Not alpha-like behavior of him. Give him time. So many things might be going on in his head, Blair advised me. I don't care, Blair. He's not the one going through this so-called hard time. I am too, but I am trying to reach out to him so we could sort this out like mates are supposed to. I fired at her. All right, my bad for suggesting such. As far as I am concerned, there's no loss. You still have Tristan and Nathan, so you had better start developing feelings for them since Harold is emotionally unavailable. She told me as she broke the link. Tristan turned to me and asked, Alexia, what happened up there? Who planned this? I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves before speaking. I don't know, I said, shaking my head. I was just up there, and then someone pushed me. Tristan's eyes narrowed as he listened to my story. Do you have any idea who it could have been? I shrugged, feeling helpless. No, I didn't see anyone. As if on cue, Harold stirred in his sleep, and my heart skipped a beat. He was my favorite alpha mate, and the thought of something happening to him made me feel sick to my stomach. Tristan must have noticed the look on my face, because he reached over and put a comforting arm around my shoulder. Don't worry, he said softly. We're all here for you. I looked up at him, feeling a wave of gratitude wash over me. Tristan was always so kind and caring, and I knew I could count on him to protect me. I honestly doubted if there was a we because they only displayed their love one at a time, and for now, it was just Tristan. Thank you, Try. If you hadn't showed up, that vampire would have surely killed me. I appreciated him. Vampire? I nodded my head to confirm what he just heard. There was one up there. I wouldn't have let that happen. Nobody dares to hurt my mate and go scot-free, he assured me, and my heart warmed over his words. Maybe he truly cared, but I would not be able to know if I did not give him a chance to prove it. Suddenly, I felt a wave of exhaustion wash over me, and I leaned back against Tristan's chest, feeling his warmth seep into my bones. Your eyes are getting heavy, you should get some sleep, he suggested. Yeah. That was all I could say to him. He invited me to his blanket, and I accepted, feeling safe and secure next to him. As I drifted off to sleep, I could feel Tristan's eyes on me, and I knew he was watching over me while I rested. I opened my eyes slowly, taking a few moments to adjust to my surroundings. I was lying on Tristan's blanket, feeling his warmth against my skin. I found out that he hadn't slept at all, and my heart swelled with gratitude. I enjoyed watching you sleep, that's all, he told me when I asked. If he continued like this, then I might find myself falling for him, which was the major reason why I really needed to speak with Harold. The principal's announcement snapped me out of my reverie, and I looked around at my roommates. You all can leave now since it is safe, but do well to report anything strange and be super cautious of your environment. Yes, sir. I sat up and rubbed my eyes, noticing that Harold had already packed his things and was ready to leave. I felt a twinge of sadness in my chest as I watched him go, wondering what was going through his mind. He had claimed the tender, unguarded core of my being, the part meant only for a mate, and yet he treated me like I was invisible. I knew I should be angry with him, but instead, I just felt hurt. Tristan must have noticed my reaction because he put a comforting arm around my shoulder. If I were you, I wouldn't worry about somebody like Harold. He wouldn't do the same if he was in your position, he said softly. He's just angry, that's all. Why wouldn't he be when he had to get into a silly competition to secure his mate? Anyways, if he really wanted to win, he would have, I guess. I was not worth stressing about. I looked up at him, feeling a wave of gratitude wash over me. Tristan was always so kind and understanding, and I knew I could count on him to be there for me. We left the basement and walked out into the dorm building, taking in the damage around us. There were broken windows everywhere, and everything was covered in sand. It was like a war zone. Nathan chatted with Tristan as we walked, and I listened in, feeling a sense of companionship with my roommates. They were all so different, but they all cared about me in their own way. As we walked, I couldn't help but feel insecure about my relationship with Harold. I honestly thought that he would have a few words with me before leaving the academy or give me a goodbye kiss or something more. He was surely reconsidering his decision to accept me as his mate. I still also couldn't believe that Nathan had won the vacation. I had mixed feelings about leaving him with his pack. On one hand, I was excited to explore a new place and meet new people. But on the other hand, I didn't know what to expect from Nathan, especially after overhearing Tristan's warning. As I was getting ready in the bathroom, I heard Tristan's voice outside. I couldn't resist eavesdropping, so I leaned closer to the door to hear what they were saying. I mean it, Nate, Tristan said sternly. Alexia is off limits. You can't do anything to her. Nathan's response made my blood run cold. Relax, Tristan. I know how to treat a lady, and besides, she's my mate as well, so why should I even listen to you? He asked with a sneer. Nobody gets to mark her until the vacation is over. Don't do anything or I will make this academy a living nightmare for you when we return, mark my words. Tristan warned him. Is that a threat? Nathan inquired. His tone was flat. No, it's far from that. Just go ahead and do it, then you will find out. I couldn't believe the arrogance in his voice. It made me feel uneasy, and I wondered if Tristan's warning was justified. As I walked out of the bathroom, I couldn't help but feel obsessed with Tristan. I knew it was silly to pine after someone who didn't feel the same way about me, but I couldn't help the way I felt. I found myself drawn to him, wanting to be near him at all times. It was almost as if he had a gravitational pull on me, and I couldn't resist his magnetic charm. But at the same time, I couldn't ignore the feeling of insecurity that had taken hold of me. Harold had claimed the tender, unguarded core of my being, the part meant only for a mate, and then discarded me like I was nothing. And now, I was leaving with Nathan, someone who had already shown a hint of aggression towards me. Couldn't shake the feeling that I was in over my head, and that this vacation was going to be anything but a relaxing getaway. I stared down at my phone, my fingers tapping furiously on the screen as I typed out a message to Harold. What the hell is your problem? 1 minute, you are all over me, and the next, you are acting like we barely even know each other. Why does it have to be a hard book to understand? Your attitude is stressing me out and you don't even care. You left without a word and didn't even bother to reach others. I can bet on my life and on yours that if I was not the one to reach out, you wouldn't have bothered. My heart was pounding so hard in my chest after I hit send and tossed my phone onto the other side. With Nathan's eyes still on the road, he managed to spare me a sidelong glance. Trouble in paradise? Who's making our princess upset? Don't tell me it's your favorite. His question was laced with a tone of amusement, which made me roll my eyes with my hands clenched into fists in my lap. You should really learn to mind your business, Nathan. Stop prying into my affairs because it doesn't concern you. My voice was sharp as I blurted out, which made him chuckle. His eyes still fixed on the road ahead. Whatever you say, babe. Don't call me that, I warned as my face squeezed into a frown. "I am sorry, Your Majesty. Just know that if you ever need someone to talk to, I will always be here for you." He decided to begin with mockery and then ended with genuine interest. I gritted my teeth, my anger boiling over. Nathan has been nothing but a thorn in my flesh since the day that we met. His controlling and possessive behavior always had a way of pissing me off. The fact that he always tried to tell me what to do and punished me if I disobeyed was enough to cancel him out of this mate bond triangle or whatever it was called. It was weird how he took pleasure in making fun of me and rubbing my mistakes in my face, but as much as I despised him, I couldn't deny the way my body reacted to his touch. His piercing honey eyes and his scent, which was a mix of pine and leather, made my wolf Blair go wild. It was the major reason why she loved him more than the others, whereas my heart yearned for someone who would not see me as a number one priority. I shook my head, trying to clear my thoughts before glancing back at my phone with a glimpse of hope that he might have responded. My eyes lit up with excitement, but soon after, my heart sank when I saw his reply. "Everything is cool, Alexia. Don't worry about it." I immediately scoffed, my fingers clenching my phone as if I had the strength to destroy it. "Typical," I muttered under my breath while mentally yanking my hair out. Nathan shot me a curious look. "What's typical?" "Trust me, you don't want to know," I replied without sparing him a glance. I went ahead to text Harold again with no shame at all in the world because of my silly feelings for him, which I just could not control. "It doesn't seem cool to me, Harold. It's really important that we talk about it. Your attitude is helping matters at all. You were supposed to mark me, remember? Announce your acceptance of our mate bond to everybody. But changed. Or is there someone else? Do you still like my sister?" He texted back immediately, and it only made my hand tremble, my palms sweaty, and my head ache. "Like I said earlier, it's all good. You are the only one feeling that way. There's no other girl in the picture. If there was, you would know, and why would you think that I am lying? I am not a kid that would get beaten up for doing so. Stop stressing about this whole thing." I chose not to respond any further to his text since he refused to state the real reason for his sudden behavior. I couldn't talk to Nathan about it because I knew how he would react, so I reached out to my one and only friend, Blair. "Here we go again with Mr. Emotionally Unavailable. I have told you countless times, but you would not listen. This dude isn't down for this, he's just confused, and by the way, I thought a few minutes ago, you were obsessed with Tristan. What changed? He's the only one supposed to be in your mind and heart, not Harold." "I am beginning to see that you are the problem, Alexia," she pointed out. "You aren't helping, Blair. What else do you want me to say? I should keep supporting or feeding your delusions? I'm being real here. You should be focused on the ones that you have and not the people that are willing to use the door at any point. If you keep chasing after him, you will lose Nathan and Tristan. You will be back to square one, and then you will understand my warnings," she stated before breaking the link between us. As we pulled up to the entrance of Nathan's pack, which was Lockhart, I became more nervous because I wondered how I would be welcomed, especially as an Omega with an alpha mate, or rather, the ex-girlfriend of the Alpha King. He had already made me popular in a negative way that was beyond my control of repair. Nathan stepped out and opened the passenger's door for me to come out. We were immediately greeted by a crowd of werewolves, all staring at me with varying degrees of curiosity and hostility. I knew it wouldn't be easy. "Welcome back, my prince," they greeted Nathan, who responded with his usual hostile way, and I wondered if they were all like this. "Thank you." Finally, we reached the Alpha's house, a large, imposing structure that looked more like a castle than a home. Nathan led me inside, the sound of his footsteps echoing through the grand hallway. As we walked, I couldn't help but notice the other werewolves around us, all eyeing me warily. Some of them sneered, clearly unhappy with my presence in their pack. Others simply looked curious, their eyes scanning me from head to toe. I refused to let their stares and whispers get to me. We also reached a set of double doors, ornately carved and decorated with symbols I didn't recognize. Nathan pushed them open, revealing a large, opulent room filled with plush furniture and gold accents. "My son is finally home," the Alpha announced with a mischievous grin plastered on his face. "Welcome back from the academy. I see you brought company," he added. Couldn't help but feel uneasy seeing Nathan's father, Derek, flanked by two young beauties who were clearly not his daughters. My heart sank at the thought of what kind of pack I had just entered. "Yes, I did." Derek chuckled and said, "She's a true beauty, isn't she so? Reveal her identity, your mate? One of your hoes from the academy?" Nathan's grip on my hand tightened, and I could feel his protective energy radiating from him. Yes, she is, and more importantly, she's my mate, Nathan replied firmly. Derek's gaze lingered on me, and I could feel his eyes tracing my curves. He licked his lips and said, "Nathan, my boy, you've got yourself a real gem here. She's not just beautiful, but she's got curves in all the right places." I felt a wave of disgust wash over me, and I fought to keep a neutral expression on my face. I knew that I couldn't show weakness in front of Derek or the other members of the pack. Nathan must have sensed my discomfort because he stepped in front of me, shielding me from Derek's gaze. "That's enough, Dad," he said sternly. "She's my mate, and I won't tolerate any disrespect towards her." Derek chuckled. "I'm just admiring her, son. There's no harm in that. After all, we're all animals here, and we're driven by our instincts." I felt a chill run down my spine at his words. Was this what life in a pack was like? "So, what pack are you from? Your name? The rank of your parents, and yours as well? I suppose he met you at the academy. How did you get there?" He bombarded me with lots of questions. I cleared my throat before answering him. "I'm Alexia, from Silverheart Pack. My parents are betas, but I'm an omega." His smile faded, and I honestly expected it. Alphas hardly wanted their children to end up with the lower ranks. "How is that possible?" he inquired. "I'm adopted," I revealed. His brows raised in realization, and he nodded his head. "Oh, I see. And what about the academy?" I took in a deep breath and silently prayed that my eyes would not tear up when I finally replied him. I was going to keep it simple and short. Hopefully Nathan would come to my rescue. "I was sent there as a punishment from the Alpha King Zach," I stated. "You must be his ex-girlfriend. I must say your story is really intriguing, and it's quite... I am not sure I have the words for it that you ended up with my son as your second chance mate." If only he knew that there were 2 other guys in the picture, he wouldn't be saying this. Knowing that Nathan was also sensitive to the topic, he decided to cut it short. "Yeah, she's super tired and needs to get some rest. So, shall we end this question and answer session? This isn't an interview, thank you." He led me out of the Alpha's throne room, and we ascended the stairs in direction of his room. As I stepped into Nathan's room, my eyes widened in awe at the grandeur of it all. The room was 3 times the size of my room back in Silverheart Pack, with a high ceiling and grandiose decor that spoke of the wealth of the pack. The walls were painted in a warm cream color, with intricate designs etched in gold. The room was filled with plush furniture, including a large 4-poster bed, a chaise lounge, and a grand fireplace. "The maid will be bringing us food later. I'm sure you must be hungry after the long ride," he informed me, using a concerned tone which was surprising. "Yes, I am, and thank you." "All right, I'm going to take a shower," he told me before heading towards the bathroom. I sat on the edge of the bed and waited patiently. As I sat there, lost in my thoughts, I heard a knock on the door. I got up and opened the door to find a maid holding a tray of food. I thanked her and was about to close the door when Derek appeared out of nowhere, dismissing the maid with a smile. "You can leave now, Emily." I felt my heart race as he walked towards me, his hand resting on my waist. "I finally found you alone," he said with a smirk. I took a step back, feeling uncomfortable with the way he was touching me. What the heck was going on? I was beyond shocked.